You're most welcome, madam.
Thank you. A blessed good morning, esteemed guests, members of the press, fellow entrepreneurs, and friends from across the African continent and the Caribbean. It is a tremendous honor to speak to you today at this historic gathering, the first of its kind, where Africa and the Caribbean meet not just to connect, but to build something new, bold, and exciting together. This African Caribbean franchise exhibition is more than an event. It is a milestone in economic collaboration, cultural exchange, and mutual empowerment. As we stand on the threshold of new possibilities, it is important to understand what this momentum truly represents for us in the Caribbean. The first of its kind, a moment of history. Never before has there been such a coordinated effort to bring together the franchise potential of two regions that, through though separated by the Atlantic, we are spiritually, culturally, and historically linked. Africa and the Caribbean share deep rooted connections on music, or food, or languages, and ways of life for centuries, which are intertwined in our histories. What we are doing here today is more than business. We are reclaiming and reinforcing those bonds, not in the name of nostalgia, but in the pursuit of economic opportunity, mutual benefit, and sustainable growth. Why should the Caribbean look to Africa? From a purely economic standpoint, the argument is compelling. Africa is home to over 1.4 billion people, and that number continues to grow. With an increasingly young, dynamic population and rising middle class, Africa is one of the fastest growing consumer markets in the world. For Caribbean franchises, whether it's food or beverage, retail, manufacturing, technology, or services, this is not just a market for us, it's a partner in growth. Expanding to the Africa continent represents opportunities not only to earn foreign exchange, but to scale brands that may have hit saturation points locally. And most importantly, to engage with markets that are culturally aligned, which gives us a strategic advantage. Unlike expanding to North America or Europe, African markets understand and connect with our flavors, our rhythms, our ways of communication, fashion, and so much more. This similarity in culture lowers the barrier to market entry. It means we can bring not only our products and services, but also our stories that will be welcomed. Using our culture as a currency, let's not underestimate the power of cultural familiarity. For Caribbean businesses, particularly in food and creative industries, our greatest asset is our identity. Imagine a Barbadian, a Jamaican food franchise opening in Lagos, Nairobi, or Accra, not as a novelty, but as something familiar and so comforting. Imagine Caribbean technology companies collaborating with African developers to create fintech, agritech, or edutech platforms that speak to our shared realities. This is not only profitable, but it is powerful. It is an opportunity to shape our narrative, to tell our stories our way, and to showcase the ingenuity and brilliance that exists in both regions. Franchising, a vehicle for shared prosperity. Franchising has always been one of the fastest ways to scale a business. It allows for replication of success, local ownership with international standards, and job creation at both ends of the value chain. For Caribbean brands, franchising into Africa means finding local partners who are equally invested in growth, who understand their communities, and who can adapt operations without losing brand identity. For African investors, it is a chance to bring proven business models into high demand markets with support and training from experienced franchisors. So basically, this is a win-win situation. Looking ahead, the call to action. So, what does this mean for the Caribbean? It means we can no longer afford to think small. It means we must stop seeing ourselves as isolated island economies and start seeing ourselves as global contributors. With Africa as our next frontier, we must prepare our entrepreneurs, young and seasoned, to think beyond our shores. We must equip them with tools, knowledge, and connections to do business on the African continent as we build institutional bridges in banking, trade, education, and logistics that support this expansion. This exhibition is an excellent first step, but it must not be the last. In conclusion, Africa and the Caribbean are two sides of the same coin. We share history, culture, and now with vision and will, we can share prosperity. Let today be the beginning of a new era with our franchisors, our products, our services, and most of all, our people, moving freely across borders in the spirit of collaboration, growth, and shared identity. We must not just talk about expansion, we are talking about transformation, economic, culturally, and generationally. I thank you. Let's build the bridge and walk across it together.
Thank you, Rollins, for that wonderful contribution. You're most welcome. So I think at this point, we'll probably call in our partners, our media partners, to share some, ask some few questions so they can share more light. Who is taking? Oh.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Justice from The Punch. Thank you for the wonderful, insightful contributions. So I wanted to find out if any of the speakers can give us an insight or highlight of what has happened in the previous editions or what the event has actually achieved so far.
All right, thank you so much. You said your name is?
It's Justice.
Justice from Punch. Okay, thank you so much. So I will say, let's start from 6.0. Like I said, we started the journey in 2020, where we started trying to get companies to learn how to compete. However, 6.0 was a remarkable year for us at the CEO Drawing Board. We attracted the attention of 100 countries in the two